McCartney's talking about how there's something happening now. He's working with artificial intelligence, and they're going to take John Lennon's vocals from an old demo, and they're going to make this new final Beatles album. Him and Ringo Starr are working on this together, and they're apparently able to take some stuff back in 95 they were using for the anthology series, and they said that most of it was just rubbish. That's what he called it. It didn't sound good. It sounded like shit, and then went to go play it, and it just didn't work with anything else, so they ditched a bunch of tracks. Well, apparently now with the new AI technology, they're able to put the songs through a system, and the AI can sort out the vocals, pull them out, and clean them up, and then they can pop them in the songs. So him and Ringo are recording vocals for this. He's not saying what the songs are going to be, if it'll be one song, a bunch of songs. There's people speculating online. One of the things they're saying is Now and Then is a song that he wrote, that John Lennon wrote back in 1978, and that's maybe one that might be on this whole final record. But Paul McCartney's like, it's pretty cool that I'm able to do this. He's also like, I'm getting old. Like, I don't really know how the internet works. Like, this is kind of scary. People are saying that you can actually, find AI doing songs by the Beatles, but it's not them. But this is actually them together. He's doing this. He wants to bring out the final Beatles album. And to me, I'm like, that's pretty cool. I think it's awesome. Like, then again, it pulls in the whole Michael Jackson thing, when they're talking about maybe bringing out albums post his death. People were freaking out about this, but this is like under the guise of Paul McCartney and Ringo Starr. It's like, so is this a good thing? Is this cool? Are we excited about this? Are we not? Sabrina, I'm going to you because you love the Beatles. What do you think? Are you excited about this happening?
I do love the Beatles. And to be fair, a lot of dead people come out with albums. Just look at Tupac.
It's true.
He has come out with many, many, many albums since he passed away. Just saying.
To be fair, that is his hologram, though. Yeah. Just in very tiny type. Yes.
New songs have come out that are, from Tupac, and they sound pretty good, to be fair. I feel like this, I know AI is like a touchy thing in all aspects. I feel like in music there is a little bit of a different vibe to it, because if you think about even the old keyboards where you can hit a button and it has a drum beat for you, and then you hit another button and it does something else, and you hit another button and then you play the piano, but you're creating all these other things with things that are programmed into the keyboard. You know what I mean? Like, what about auto-tune, where people are singing and their voice is a little bit robot-y, but you know what I mean? That's a huge thing. There's all sorts of things that happen in music. Of course you could have a drummer doing the drums, but instead you have your Casio keyboard and you hit the button and then that happens. You know what I mean? So I feel like there's been manipulation by machine in music for much longer than what's happening right now with all this crazy chat GPT and writing scripts and making Wes Anderson trailers. I just feel like it's a different vibe now. To have an AI come out with a Beatles album that no Beatle has anything to do with, obviously I'm fully against. But if you're able to preserve something that John Lennon actually wrote, that didn't have the chance to reach to the public, I'm super jazzed to be able to listen to that, and I think that it is, as a fan of the Beatles, I think that it is a wonderful thing that we'll be able to hear this song, or if there's more songs, that we haven't been able to experience because, he was recorded on a boombox in his New York apartment, playing piano, you know what I mean? Now you get to it's truly written by him. AI is helping separate his vocals from the instruments and tune it up and make it listenable, which I think it's amazing, and I think it's awesome, and I'm actually really excited for it.
It's like when technology goes right in a lot of ways, it can go really wrong, and it's I feel like it can be kind of right. Sean, are you leaning towards that too? Is this a good thing, or is it a slippery slope?
I'm split on this. I definitely feel like if we're gonna get Beatles stuff, get it before Ringo and Paul pass. I think that the time to have done this might have been closer to when the show came, or the documentary series came out. I know the hysteria for new Beatles content is always going to be high. I mean, that's just part of the Beatles being the Beatles.
Well, the documentary was only a couple years ago, really quickly. And also that was when he learned that it was possible because Peter Jackson did it for certain things. So in that timeline, it seems more plausible. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I feel like the pieces are all coming together to make this a reality. And, we're still in this, this interesting beginning times of what the capabilities of AI can do, and if it's to bring back or restore something that could have been completed when John was alive, then by all means, let's go for it. Let's hear how it is.
Yeah,
I hope it
it's
sucks.
really fast. It might suck. I mean, it
How
could.
dare
I mean,
you.
Mike, what do you think about over there? Yeah, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's a good idea?
It's pretty clear to me that all this talk about AI is just a false flag operation so that Tupac can have plausible deniability while he continues to release albums. He can say, oh, it's just the AI bringing him back. Meanwhile, he's at his base on the other side of the moon, just raking in those paychecks and not having to live with, all the paparazzi, which is, as we all know, the reason why he decided to
Why he's doing it.
defect to his moon base in the first place. I think it's obviously, we've all seen what AI can do. So I think I don't want to speak for everybody, but I bet that what the vocals that it pulls out are fine, are great.
Yeah.
Sound like they were recorded on the latest stuff. But I don't know, maybe because I haven't looked into it enough. Is this something that necessarily John was working on to potentially release, or is it? I've seen it happen too many times that the estates,
It's like
the families
Yoko-
of artists
Yep.
will release unreleased stuff in, like, they'll try to finish up a work, do a half-ass job to cash in on the paycheck, and then it's like there was a reason why the artist didn't want it published in the first place. I got to give the benefit of a doubt to Paul here, because I don't think he's looking to defame the Beatles in any way. Like, he probably just wants to give people more, or at any rate, like, he probably wants to see what he can do if he pulls this in, and if he can publish it, then why not share it with people? Because he doesn't have anything to really gain in terms of money. Like, what would he care? What would he do with an extra $100 million? But if he can play with his old buddy and make some music again, I mean, why not, right? Bring him back from the dead.
Yoko Ono submitted all of these tapes and stuff to them when they were making the anthology CDs, like, in 95 or whatever. And we know, like, people say that she is literally the reason that the Beatles broke up. So she's not going to hand over anything that she doesn't think it was, true to him or something that he wanted to do.
Well, you'd hope.
His albums with Yoko are great. They're good.
They're okay. I mean,
I'm a fan.
They're okay. Yeah, I don't hate them, but it's not the Beatles.
No.
I don't. Lexi asked me a question. Don't you think this is, in a lot of ways, kind of no different than trying to cash in on a franchise and making it over and over again? Do we really need more Beatles content now? See, but it's not new Beatles content. It's something that wasn't able to be released, like when it was written. And he died, like, someone shot him on his steps in Manhattan. It wasn't like he was like, I'm done making music, and, like, now let's try to reboot this situation. Like, that was made when he was still a musician. It was like in his house husband years, because he was raising his son, and he was just taking a break from being out in the spotlight and actually performing, but he wasn't taking a break from working and writing. And I think that Paul, or at least what Paul said anyway, was that it's always been like an unfinished business, and something that he really has wanted to get out there but wasn't able to. And since doing this documentary and learning about this, how they can do this with computers, that he wants to do it, like, for John, not for himself. And it's not like all the money's going to come to him. It's going to go to everyone, like, whatever, John's family, George's family, Ringo, him. Like, it's not a cash grab. I don't see it as that at all. Which I do see as when they're remaking a property, for the 30th time, like Leprechauns.
Yeah, it's not like a re-release.
It's not.